everyone, welcome to Treya Tarot. This is the collective reading for Monday, July 29th, 2024. I am just getting the cards shuffled a little bit through, and then I'll cut them to get started. If you like my style of reading, if you enjoy the videos that I'm making, please like, comment, and subscribe and help me grow. And please, by all means, leave a comment. I love hearing comments and I want to build some community, so I would absolutely love to hear from you. All right, so I started this video already once this morning, and a whole bunch of sirens went by and you couldn't hear, so I had to restart. So let's see. On some level, I feel like the restart might have been important. Originally, in the first spread, I pulled the Ten of Wands, the Page of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Queen of Cups as a foundational starting point, because I feel like it should be included. Those cards tell me that whoever, whatever it is that we feel responsible for, either collectively or individually, that wasn't ours to begin with, is coming up for review. So there might be themes this week today and this week of separating your identity from your parents' identity, your family identity, and potentially your community identity as it stands right now. The Page of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune and the Queen of Cups for me say that pretty clearly because of the that whole trajectory of going from burdened to full-hearted. So let's see what we got. All right. Seven of Swords. See, the starting cards so far have been really interesting because Seven of Swords, Ten of Wands, whichever one you prefer to call it. Oh, that Queen of Cups comes out in the same position. Okay, so that first layer from the first pull talks about that separation of your own true identity from the burdened identity you've been embodying. This one talks about the cunningness of how you're getting that done. So there's some stealth here, maybe some new idea or way in which that you can avoid some of the more common conflict or traditional conflict that you've experienced in the past. That Seven of Swords can be about deception and stealing. It can be about leaving a conflict early so that you don't have to deal with things, but it can also be about disarming your opponent. So there's something about disarming, in my opinion, disarming an old conflict, putting down a burden that you know was not yours at its inception. Because of the High Priestess, there's this higher capacity here. There's this, I know better. And so I'm going to avoid repeating the conflict of the past by working in a new direction. Eight of Pentacles. There's a dedication to a new way here. But there's also parts of this, how do I say this? There's parts of this process that are very clearly about who you are versus who you were taught to be, who you've been in the past, mistakes you've made, maybe even. So if any of those kinds of themes come up over the next week, that would be very clearly indicated here. But that High Priestess, there's that higher knowledge, that transcendence there that I feel is really, really important to kind of reconciling the two cards that surround her, But the Seven of Swords doesn't always have to be deception-based in that way. It can also be cunning. It can also be smarter than. It does have a tone of manipulation, but it could be manipulation to avoid a problem. So because of the surrounding cards, that's where I'm going to go with that one. The Queen of Cups is your end of the first row here. Tells me that this is about who we are, truthfully. It's about the way we connect. It's about the way we love. It's about the way we empathize. It's about those of us with psychic capacities or intuitiveness, being less ashamed of that particular aspect of ourselves. It's about showing up full. The Empress, there's that joy factor there. The Queen of Cups and the Empress together, ooh, and the Queen of Wands. I love all of that together. There's themes here of nurturing, love, fruition, things that come together at the right time. That Queen of Wands is that nurturance, but it's also nurturance of a passion. So there's potential here that maybe some people's side quests are going to come into focus this week. If you are building any sort of side business or any sort of passion project that means a lot to you, or that you've been working on for a very long time, that could come forward, and there could be a breakthrough there, or there could be a reevaluation there with that Four of Cups. The thing about the Four of Cups is that it can sometimes be about stripping illusions away from something, away from a dream. So it doesn't have to be about being unsatisfied, though, even though traditionally there are themes there within that card of that. You know, he's sitting by the tree, he's staring at the dream that's floating instead of paying attention to what he's built. You know, he's unsatisfied with what he's created. But to have the Knight of Cups following that tells me that there's movement towards that dream, towards that floating cup. So it may just be a reevaluation based on, how do I take better care of myself and my community? How do I show up more authentically in my situation, in my life, in my family? How do I bring that out so that I can get more done? I can do things more in alignment with who I am. I can create a life that doesn't feel like struggle. That Eight of Pentacles is screaming at me right now, especially in regard to the Empress. It's this idea that you're giving birth on some level to something you've worked for, worked on, kept close to the vest, something that was divinely guided. And it's being nurtured. It's being given a chance to actually show up and be built in a fulfilled way. Let's see if I can keep the cards from moving as I do this. Six of Swords, movement away from difficulty. Seven of Cups, often called the card of false options. And then the King of Wands. Okay, so here's the part where you get the little bit of the caveat or the warning. I don't really think warning is an appropriate word for it, but that being said, to have this be a smooth process, or to have this help you move away from the conflict, the burden, that Ten of Wands that first came up, to have this process help you move forward, you need to know which cup is viable. You need to know which move is viable. And you'll know which move forward is viable based on consistency. So I know we've all heard the saying, all that glitters isn't gold. It's kind of like that. You want to look for the thing that has the patina, as opposed to the thing that's super shiny. You know, you want to look for the worn path here, meaning a followable, consistent, structured path forward to your goal. And then the King of Wands, because that's why I brought up the word warning. The King of Wands can be kind of hot-headed or rushing, or you know, although the Knight is technically is the Wands card that rushes in, but the King of Wands has this sort of super adventurous, maybe even a slightly risky quality to him, but he is a lot of fun. So this could be a lot of fun. This could be a real discovery process. This could be really exciting, even if it's a work project that you're bringing into fruition, if it's a new business, if it's something that your heart is in. This could be a lot of fun this week, this aspect of it. But there's definitely themes here of, don't take super risky steps. Take consistent, solid steps forward. So if something works, don't mess with it. Start with that. If something doesn't work, reevaluate it. If you're not getting where you want to be with this project, with this experience, whatever it is that this is bringing up for you, reevaluate and then look for your practical steps away from the issue. How do I get from A to B? Think logically here. King of Swords. There is, some of you will probably have to take a whole new direction. Look at how these cards get all messed up as I put new ones down. The King of Swords tells me that there is that narrowed sight, I'll say that, or even narrowed idea that needs to be pushed through. That's the best way I can say it. So that King of Swords and the Knight of Wands, like I said, the Knight of Wands rushes through something, rushes towards something that they want or feel passionate about. That King of Swords says, if this is a brand new idea, be careful. You want to find the way you haven't moved forward in the past, so it's new in that sense, but it is not new in a unheard of sense. So talk to people. That might also be a good way to push this through this week. If you are building a business that's close to your heart and you know that there are resources for people who've done similar businesses or things in the past, go there and listen to them. Yes, listen to them. Look for the communities that can support you in fueling this fire, so to speak, in fueling this inner passionate, moving force that you're creating. I think that this week could prove to be actually great for some people, even though there's a lot of really weird astrology happening all the way through August. So when you can take a moment to build something solid, when you can take a moment to feel that sort of, relighting of the old creative fire within you, take it. There are some practical steps that need to be taken care of, but you can. Knight of Cups, King of Wands. You can take these steps. You can create that experience of being completely you, completely free of the baggage that you've been carrying thus far, moving into your purpose. Go find it. All right. Have a good day. I will see you tomorrow. And thank you for watching. Talk to you soon.